ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Humanity Never Dies. In the last episode, we assaulted the facility which we got from the Black Site Vial. We first cleared out the building at the front, including a pesky sector pod, as well as then dealing with the assassin who showed up, but was no match for our rangers in advanced weaponry. Once over the bridge, we found a strange suit similar to the commander's, and we took it to the evac, making sure to wreck the place on the way. Once back on the Avenger, we finished our research of the Codex brain, as well as several key autopsies, before being sent off to a retaliation mission. With Ahmed in the sky and Floyd scouting ahead, we took apart the enemy despite the amount of chrysalids. Once returned, it wasn't long before the away team returned to us with the location of our captured soldier. We begin our mission, covert mission, with security level 1, enemies at ease. Effectively, this mission is a very stealth mission, and I'm going to play it as such. We are going to attempt to do this mission with no casualties on either side, although whether or not that happens is a completely different story, I'm sure. So we start off, we've only got 3 people, so that's what we need to be careful. There is a reduced amount of enemies, but there are still enemies around, and we've got to be very careful with that. Enemies do patrol all over the place. Also, one of the turrets is apparently having a spasm attack, and it's activating and unactivating consistently, so that's fun. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving all of our troops around the side, so we're going to do some sprinting. Luckily we're all completely in cover, so, or not in cover, but Jesus Christ, those turrets are going to get annoying. But what that means is that we are concealed, so we can't get spotted unless we are flanked. So we're going to make sure that we skirt around the entirety of the facility to get ourselves to our operative who's been captured. Now, the operative, as you can see, is on the left-hand side of the screen right now. He's currently in one of the cell blocks, so the idea is that we need to go to that cell block, get him to the evac. We can do this with no casualties on either side. Obviously, we kind of maybe want to start a fight to kill them. However, we are only 3 operatives, which could be very dangerous, especially since we don't know what we're facing up against. We've seen that there's some through troopers, we've seen that there's turrets. Those aren't too dangerous, but it's possible that they might have something like a Codex, or an Andromedon, or something that's not going to be very nice for us to take out. The trooper actually goes outside of the facility there, and that could be bad, but luckily we're not spotted, and that's actually, there is an Andromedon there, right next to our operative. So we're going to sneak around. Luckily being concealed means that they've got reduced vision, so we're just going to be able to sneak around there, so I'm going to be making sure that that happens right in front of his face. Obviously they can't see the glowy blue things that we've all got, but that's going to allow us to completely go around him, and that's that. So far so good, we've got no problems on that end as the trooper continues his patrol route around the side. I can hear a door opening and destroying, so Andromedon's just destroyed completely that entire wall. He's also got a buddy with him apparently, so that's all good. Get Mises around the side there. Trying to figure out what we can do with that. Doing a scan probably isn't a terrible idea, just because it will allow us to know where all the enemies are. However, I'm not sure whether or not that would reveal us, and we don't particularly want that. Equivalently, and what we're probably going to be doing is grapple, because grappling allows us to get to positions we're not spotted, which is very lucky, and what we're going to do is we're going to move ourselves out of the side, because if you are on the lip of that balcony, you will be spotted. We actually spot another 2 troopers out on the front, so there are a lot of enemies around. I want to be careful with that. I'm going to go with a run and gun around the side over here. Gets us in cover, also allows us to go into Overwatch in case of, which obviously we don't particularly want to get revealed, but in case we do, obviously that's a necessity to go into Overwatch. Especially, this is probably the most dangerous part of this mission at the moment. If we get spotted, all hell breaks loose. Andromedon goes back through the building, which is not particularly what I wanted, because I want to keep an eye on him. I want to go outside so I can get Vandervoort with Mises. Luckily we do have the vision on Vandervoort. Don't see any additional enemies, although there is a block there where he is. For now, Mises is going to go back down, I think. Might go around the side.
I'm on the move.
This will allow us to get more vision, because you can see the enemies over there and still inside the building. Get more vision. No enemies spotted on that side, so that's all good. So we're not going to do much else except
heading there now.
A bit closer. And then Grey is just going to go around the side. We're trying to get ourselves a nice perimeter. What I intend to do is collect Vandervoort and evac in the same turn. We can see that this trooper actually returns back on his patrol route. More destruction happening inside the building. And then we're going to Wraith with Mises. This is one of the best things about the Wraith suit.
That's affirmative.
So we're going to Wraith through the wall, collect Vandervoort, which is going to reveal us.
They've got a position.
So everyone activates on the enemy side. Security level's gone up to 3. And now we're just going to evac. Going to evac. I need to get to a position where I can get everyone, so we decide to go over there. That should give us more than enough. And then this is the thing with Xcom that's a bit broken, is that I'm carrying Vandervoort, who can't Wraith, but apparently I can still walk through walls with him, so that's good. I'm going to say that he went through the window, whereas Mises went through the wall. That's how I'm going to see that this has happened. But Mises actually manages to get himself out of there, and then the rest are going to follow suit. So a completely and utterly flawless mission there. No kills from our side, but we didn't need to kill anyone. The mission was just to collect Vandervoort, and that's what was important. And then Grey following on there to make sure that and ensure that we had a successful, flawless recovery.
Everything by the numbers.
Wow, you came for me? I thought I was a goner for sure. You should have seen how they treated me. Barely any food, psychic shocks on the hour. It was hell. I won't let them catch me again, I promise you. You have the full support of my resistance group from now on.
With Vandervoort returns, it allows us to see if we've got any promotions, although since we've got no kills, ain't gonna get no promotions, I don't think. But that was a very successful mission, very happy with how that went. And we've got our specialist back, so that's good. It's always good to have a specialist back when you got that. I think you may even have some level up somewhere. Toshiba actually got some level. Oh, probably from the fact that this is from a covert op that she was on, so she leveled up, which is good. So that having been done, we can see Vandervoort is back. He's also quite important as someone with the medical protocol abilities, so all good. So then we can move on. We can figure out what we want to do for our covert op. Obviously, we've got to pick a replacement op since we had our recovery as being our previous op. There's quite a bit of abilities. Got resistance orders, which is actually a really good one. The new region done instantly, really good one. So we're going to send our dudes on the way. We're going to send Xiaolong and not. Oh, it's Will recovery. So we should probably not in Keyline, and then we're going to send someone else. Probably send Xiaolong anyway. Originally, what I had wanted to do originally what I want to do is send Smith over to become the second psionic, but that doesn't occur, mostly because she's already upgraded, and I failed to remember that you need to be a rookie to then go into the psionic abilities, rather than being able to have multiple persons who's already been upgraded over to a speciality. So that sucks on that end, but there's not really too much of a problem. Shadowkeeper has been completed and can get Soul Steal ability. And next we're going to go for Schism. Schism's a good one. And then we're going to continue our thing, although we are going to get interrupted by research.
Just like the one we found the commander in.
On the surface, yes. But in function... Ah, Commander. Excellent. We can begin. It is no secret that Advent soldiers possess both human and alien genetic characteristics. Preliminary analysis led me to believe that this was the result of direct modifications made to a pre-existing human host. Prisoners, or perhaps even unwitting volunteers.
See your local Advent recruiter today.
However, the reality is something else entirely. The Advent troopers at the facility we discovered, including the specimen before you, were manufactured. Each soldier possesses a unique genetic code, predominantly human, of course, but with some fragments left open.
Left open for what?
Whatever alien DNA Advent wishes to insert. Sectoid, mutant, even the species our soldiers refer to as berserker. In all cases, human genetic material serves as a bonding agent, holding the strands together.
Human material? You mean the stuff we found at the Black Site facility?
Precisely. The key component in their soldier manufacturing process.
So we've been fighting ourselves this entire time.
In a way, but I believe there's more to it than that. The human DNA in this specimen bears one key difference from the entirety of the sequences decoded in the Shadow Chamber. Psionic sensitivity. Given the sheer volume of strands involved, this cannot be accidental.
Screening process at the clinics. Avatar.
The potential power of a being created with this template is significant, central. Had we not intercepted it before the process was completed...
I know, Doctor. Continue your research. Let us know if you find anything else.
The plot thickens, it seems, but we will continue onwards. We're going to... we've got several researches that we need to do. So, I mean, those are researches that we have done. So what have we got left? We've got the codex data to do. So that's what we're going to be doing. Clicking the wrong button. Always do that. It's a good advice. Regardless, let us continue with our obtaining of supplies. Our frost bomb gets completed. And we get a frost bomb in our inventory, actually, which is really cool. It's a really good grenade. But it also means that we've got nothing in the proving ground currently. So what I'm going to do, complete the Icarus armor. It's very strong armor, and not much else, I don't think. Oh, experimental heavy weapon, why not? It's always good to have an extra one. But we continue onwards, getting ourselves more supplies, got some removing traits happening, we've actually got some guerrilla ops happening, but we are not going to be doing these guerrilla ops, because although they are important, very strong, there's something much more important that we need to be doing. And we don't have time to waste anymore, mostly because any of the Chosen can appear at any time within some of these guerrilla ops, and I don't particularly feel like I want to risk that. It also helps the fact that the rewards are pretty crappy. We've got an engineer, got a small bit of intel if I'm honest, but the thing that we really want to do is take out a stronghold, take out a Chosen. So we're going to go for the one that we hate the most, that is the Warlock. The one with the big psychic powery engine G stuff. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to set up our squad, we get the warning message, this is a stronghold, and we're going to take our A-game. Engen, McEwen, Lau, Farlogo, Kilby and Vimo are off to beat up a Chosen.
You may be the first human beings to step foot inside these walls. This may not be the most ideal situation. Remember why.
So we begin our operation within the stronghold and go straight to a wall. These strongholds are really nice in the way in which they set up every encounter, where effectively there's a set of rooms everywhere. You start in the main room, where you've just apparently just cascaded down from the ceiling. And then you investigate every room, and going room by room until you reach the Ascension Chamber. Once you reach the Ascension Chamber, you then go down to defeat the Chosen, or attempt to defeat the Chosen. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to spread out our men around the room. We're going to open the door to see what's on the other side, and if there are any enemies on the side, we're then going to kill them all. That's exactly what we're going to do. So Farlogo is going to begin with opening the door, and we're going to see that our first room is full of spectres and an Andromedon. So this is going to be a very interesting puzzle to deal with, mostly because they're very distant. So the first thing we can do is blast the bomb, which is obviously always a nice thing to start with, especially if we can hit all of these spectres in one blast. That's exactly what's going to happen there. As Lao unleashes the energy, destroys all the cover, really seriously harms all of the spectres, and she can go again, but she's not going to do anything. We then got lightning hands, which is definitely going to happen on the spectre, who are elite spectres, doing 6 damage to that with the lightning hands. She does have a face off, but it's kind of pointless at this stage, so she's just going to go for shots. She does have Deadeye if she wishes to use it, although a guaranteed kill on a spectre may not be a bad shout, although she can do a Deadeye for a 100% chance to hit, but will it be a 100% chance to kill? No. But it does do 12 damage and leaves him on a very low amount of health. However, that still leads 4 enemies, and we kind of want to kill as many of them as possible. Vermo can Whiplash. It's not very high chance. 79% still pretty high. It does kill out one of the spectres, so there's only 3 enemies left. One of them on a very low amount of health. He is then able to go up and grapple up, get himself even more vision, with a 100% chance to hit all of these. He's going to fire down. Not quite killing it, but he does have an additional shot, so he is going to kill it. I was going to go from them further away, that's fair enough. Either way, he's dead. Next we have Far Logo, who does have a run and gun, but I don't think I'm going to be using it. We do have a slash ability with Kilby, which may be a good idea to go and slash that Spectre, mostly because of the guaranteed kill. Also puts him in cover. So that's exactly what can happen. He does get spotted in the process, however, but very expertly slashes and kills the Spectre, leaving only the Andromedon now, although we have used, I believe, 3. We could dominate, but there's actually a quite low percent, so we could just null lance it. Domination would actually have been a really good idea, although there is a reason why I'm saving it, and that is to use it in the final room with the Chosen, because the person you dominate on this floor doesn't actually go around. Sadly, only disorientating him with Insanity, although that's not always a terrible thing. Unable also to launch a Plasma Grain far enough, so Lao's just going to go into Overwatch, whereas Far Logo is going to have to go over to a position to go and get itself good cover. 57% chance to hit, doesn't quite hit. It's too bad. So the Andromedon's still on full health, still has his turn, although I have disorientated it, which is good because it means it's going to take some malices everywhere. However, it is going to fire its big goop ball, and does do a lot of significant damage to both McEwen and Engen, so not an amazing turn for us, and McEwen's actually taken a lot of damage, as has Engen. The Andromedon's acid bomb is insanely strong. However, we are pretty much guaranteed to kill it at this stage, with Kilby going around the side, shredding his armour, as well as getting the critical strike from the Hunter's Instinct. Vemo doesn't get a shot currently, so we're just going to get into a position where we do get a shot, or we're just going to ignore it completely. That's also fine. I think that's what we're going to go for. Going in with Lao. Apparently not. Why would we not go with Lao? It's all a matter. I wonder what I'm thinking at the moment. I'm probably trying to get kills. Oh, the reason I'm not going in with Lao is because obviously when the Andromedon dies, he turns into a robot version, so blue screen rounds will become very helpful with that. Engen going in with a shot, it's only doing 4 damage sadly, but I think he does recuperate some health. Yeah, he recuperates half of that damage, so that's always fun as well. Get a pistol shot with McEwen, doing 8 damage, which makes him robo mode. So now we can start shooting him with the others, so Lao's going to go in for a 95% shot. Basically guaranteed 14 damage with the blue screen rounds, and then we can go and get the kill with someone else. We're just going to get Vemo to go around the side there into cover and shoot with 100% accuracy as well, finally taking him out. So very much probably not the best start, mostly because we took damage on 2 operatives when we could have just not taken any. We've also lost Engen's point of armor, which is very frustrating, but that's why we've got our specialist healer there to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't continuously occur. There's a bit of explosion going on there, we've got some acid blast going on everywhere, So McEwen's going to have to use her grapple to get out of there, which is not terrible, really. She's going to have to grapple up there and then go down, because that's the thing you can do. God, that's a lot of green. And then what we're going to be doing is moving on over to the next room. So this next room over there looks pretty open. Just going to spend that turn moving around. Very much what you're going to be seeing me as I clear all of these chosen strongholds is I'm going to get all of my squads to clear a room, set themselves up before the next room, reload if they can, and then move it up. That's just the guaranteed best way to do this combat. What I also try and do, and I'm not doing it in this particular stronghold, I don't do a great job of it, is you can move around the camera to see if you can spy the ascension chamber without actually having seen it, because obviously you can see a little bit through walls. It's a bit gaming the system a little bit, but you want to get to the ascension chamber as soon as possible, because at this point the A-team is full of colonels, so getting kills isn't really going to do it for them. Other than getting the odd ability point here and there, there's not really much of a reason why you would want to prolong this section of it. You kind of just want to get to the chosen and be over and done with. Kirby's going to run and gun, get into that room. Since it is open currently, it doesn't spot any enemies. We can see that I screw up and I think that this is the ascension chamber. So I am going to set up all of my guys to go in that direction. There's still obviously a possibility that there are enemies over there, but I get it wrong basically. The door is also wide open and it would show. But we are going to continue our movement then. Get allowed to move up with all of them, as well as McEwen. What's good with McEwen, obviously she has free reload, so I don't actually need to reload her every turn before we enter the next room. But we are going to keep ourselves all together. So that's all good, everything's going well. We can hear some enemies coming from the southern side of our screens, but no actual enemies visioned. So Verma's going to go around the side, see if he can spot any enemies. We see no one. This is definitely not the ascension chamber. I see that now. I'm looking around to see if there's any additional doors, but there doesn't seem to be. So now we can just go around. There seems to be something along that end. There's no doors there though. And there's a wall there, so we're going to have to go all the way around, I believe. Although the other option is we can just explode it with a I don't know if you can explode those walls actually, but that's not something that we particularly want to do. We just want to set ourselves up against the walls and against the doors to be able to get ourselves into a good position, strike out at the enemies when we uncover that. It's probably, I don't know how to. What I like this. I like the idea that you get to prepare yourself before going into the next room. It's a very dungeon crawler-esque style of gameplay, which is something that I personally enjoy, but I can see why it also breaks the gameplay down like a lot, in the sense that you kind of just want to be in the combat continuously, and here it allows you to prepare whatever happens. To be fair, the strongholds are quite close up. Well, actually, there's an error right there. Don't see any enemies. There's some right there. So we actually get ambushed from behind us, which is not great. Luckily we didn't open that door, but that could have been awful. So we're going to try and deal with them. We've got Engen who's got around. He's got a null lance, which is very strong, although it can only hit one of them, which is not cool. So he's going to have to do something else instead. We've got a potential with Vemo to do his justice, but that's probably not going to go well either. And then Lau's got around the side. No vision on the enemy, but she does have a plasma grenade, which she can fire at the overwatching. That's a really big distance there. She is going to fire it, going to shoot it directly at the heavy mech. So that's going well. So Vemo's going to have to go around the side, just to allow Engen to get a good hit with his null lance. Although null lance doesn't really get a good shot unless he moves up. He doesn't dominate. Oh, I actually do use my domination here. Ooh, interesting. I think he resists it. What the hell is that? Domination completely failed there, so we're going to have to justice there. It's not going too well so far. Although now we've got the shield bearer, can slash him up. Leaves him out in the open for everyone. He is on fire as well. So it allows us to shoot him with all of our dudes. We're going to actually be able to kill him with McEwen. Gives us some nice loot as well. And then we're going to have to get ourselves into positions with everyone else, just in case the mech comes towards us. Going to do an aid protocol on Vemo, which gives something like plus 50 defense. It's ridiculous. Plus 40 defense. That's still ridiculous. It's an entire minus 40 to hit. And then Kirby's going to go around the side and Overwatch, and then we're going to see what's going to happen. Although what I've done erroneously there is I've set up all of my dudes in a good shot in a nice little pattern for Mr. Boy to use his grenades and just fire. Oh, he actually just shoots at McEwen. Alright, probably an error. You probably could have done more with your blasting. And instead McEwen's just going to take revenge with a lightning strike shot pistol to the face. Bye bye, Mr. Heavy Mech. So far, not doing too great, I'm not going to lie. We're going to go back now into our positions that we were at previously, because we do need to go through that doorway. But yeah, not playing it super well, not going to lie. We've taken some unnecessary damage a bit from everywhere. Luckily, only on 2 individuals, but we don't want to take damage from anyone, really. The least damage we can take here, the better for what will happen when we eventually reach the Chosen. So we want to limit that as much as possible, which isn't great. But hey, it happens. So, now we can open the door, everything's good. Door is open. We can see we've got 2 elite troopers, a heavy mech, and I think that was a purifier. Yep. So, quite a bit of people around. We don't have our blaster bomb anymore, but we are still able to start with a lovely Void Rift. Are we going to be able to get multiple persons? I do not know. Although getting 2 people is still better than none. Or we could null lance. Or we could null lance. So Kirby's going to go up. He's actually got the ability to slash and slash, but he's not going to because there's a purifier up there. Instead, what he's going to do is run and gun up to a position where he can then fire upon. He's going to get himself nice and deep into the enemy council. That's a quote right there. And then fire off the purifier, which is enough to kill him without him exploding. So a beautiful... He actually gets a hair trigger as well, which gives him an additional strike, and he's going to use it to explode the barrel next to that guy. Dealing 5 damage isn't a lot, but it also removes his cover completely, so that's always not necessary, but enjoyed. Then Endgame's going to blast off with a null lance, dealing 6 damage to both of those, 12 damage in total. Can't say no to that. Go around. Lau's got a good shot, 77%, although that's still a percentage chance to miss, so we're going to hail of bullets. So that takes up 3 ammunition for a guaranteed hit, which will guarantee the kill on the Advent Mech. Hail of bullets is probably the strongest ability in the game. I'm gonna put it out there. Like, guaranteeing a hit is always, like, in a game where it's all about percentages, guaranteeing a hit is always the best thing. And then we can just move far logo up to execute the last guy with a guaranteed hit also. There we go, doing amazingly well at the moment. That was a flawless room, absolutely flawless, so well done us. So next we're going to look to see where the next door is. Looks like there's a door over there, so that's exactly where we're going to aim to put all of our dudes. One of the doors is open, however, which is obviously something to be wary of. We're going to have to reload McEwen. So I'm looking at the moment here, but I'm doing the same thing again, looking to see where the doors are, to see where the accession chamber might be. We know that the accession chamber is on the other side, or at least I saw it through the room there, so yay. Yeah, so McEwen's going to do her free reload, then she's going to dash up into position, then Farlogo's going to go up again into that position. Don't need to heal anyone because no one lost any health in that encounter. Kirby going to use his incredible movement to rush across the entirety of that room. That's insane. And going to get himself into position. Bit of a failed gender identity there from me. Vemo's going to go around the side there. There was possible issue there with seeing if there were enemies, but luckily no enemies do show themselves from that, so that was lucky, but that was kind of risky, that move there. So everything all good from that end. Got a empty room, got a side there, so we're just going to rush through with Vemo over to that doorway. So that's all good. We're going to see what we can do with the rest of our persons. I need to reload with Lao, so I'm only going to move her 1 block. I accidentally pressed hunker down, but luckily I did catch that. McEwen going to get herself into position over there. So yeah, so basically, whilst the rest of my dudes move, very standard room by room dungeoneering thing. As I was saying earlier, some people might not enjoy it. I personally really like it. It allows you to sort of go into each room as if it's a puzzle, and depending on what enemies show up, you might need to react in a different way. So the best thing to do is to set yourself up in that sort of way. So there literally could be a group of anything around the corner. It could be just shield bearers, just purifiers, archons, mutons, berserkers. It's quite a varied amount of enemies. Luckily it can't be avatars, and I don't think it can be gatekeepers, because that would be devastating. It can't be sectopods either, because that would just be ridiculous. But yeah, so it's nice. I enjoy it, but I can see why some people don't enjoy it, and yeah, that is what it is. Kilby then going to reload over his side and go around the side, and we're set up ready to go into the room. We can hear there are definitely individuals within that room. So let us begin. I'm looking whether or not I'm going to move anyone else. I am going to go into long watch with McEwen. I don't know whether or not that's a good idea. We unlock, and it is a bunch of 4 archons. So they're going to move around the way. McEwen's going to get her shot off, firing, doing 10 damage to the archon at the back. Very good. And we actually found the ascension chamber, so this is it. So ascension chamber is basically just an elevator. So yeah, that is what it is. We need to get all of our dudes on the elevator, complete that floor, and get on the next one. So we're going to fire off against that archon over there, actually missing, which is frustrating. So dealing 3 damage. So we've lost 2 of our operatives, got 4 operatives and 4 archons, and it's impossible for us to kill them all in that turn. So we're going to have to think about this, and what we're going to do is we're going to run and gun with Kilby, and he's going to do a very big runner through the enemies, mostly because I want to sort of put him around the side, and also Kilby has Battlemaster, not Battlemaster, the other one, whatever it's called. It might be called Battlemaster. The one where if you get next to you, they strike with the sword. So it's definitely not something you don't want to do. And Ginzen's got a Void Rift going on. Potential to hit all 3, so that's definitely what's going to happen there. It also, because of his one of his abilities, means that everyone hit by a psychic power will automatically get an insanity check. So that one gets hit with disorientation, and that's all that's happened over there. I think the one on the left also got hit by something, but I'm not sure. Got AP rounds dealing 6 damage to that one from Vema, who gets a second shot at the target, dealing another 6 damage as well. So, doing pretty good there. We are dealing quite a bit of damage. We've killed one off, so that's always good. Farlogo potential to run and gun, but she's just going to go for the guaranteed kill, dealing 10 damage. It wasn't guaranteed, 83%. So we've got one that is panicked and one that is going to go against his Bladestorm, not Battlemaster, who's going to go against Kilby, who misses sadly, and then this guy is going to attempt his strike, I think. But because Kilby's killed someone, he's untouchable. So Kilby showing off why Rangers are ridiculously powerful. Then we get a shot from McEwen doing 9 damage up to that Archon over there. Farlogo's going to have to move up if she wants to get shots off. That's exactly what she's going to be doing. 89% chance or 86%, so we're going to go for the 89. Kilby's got that one up there. Burning this Archon who's currently panicked. Kilby, 94% chance to hit with his Storm Gun, absolutely wrecked with 15 critical damage. They're just ridiculous. Rangers, man. And then we're just going to basically pepper this guy down to death, although missing with Engen, but the oh, I think it was dodged. Either way, then we're going to try and strike him out, killing him, and that is a great success. So we've cleared this floor. We're going to go into Overwatch, make sure if there's any enemies around, although because there appears to be no enemies left on this floor, so we're just going to rush up. What we're going to be doing is moving all of our troops over to the portal ascension platform thing. Gate platform is what it's actually called, it says so on the right hand side. We're going to reload all of our dudes before we go up. We need to get all of them down, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Before we head down to face the Chosen, and because I am a very mean person, I'm going to make you wait a whole day before you can watch this, unless of course you're not watching this on release, in which case it's in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. In the next episode, we're going to face off against the Warlock.
Well done, Menace 1-5. See you on the other side.